What's going on, guys? It's Raul here. We're back. We got another disc review today. We got the new Discmania Gravity Bomb. It's Gavin Babcock's disc. It's the C-Line Horizon PD2. So it's C-Line, but it's kind of like Horizon on the rim, so it looks like it's more like Star or S-Line or whatever in the rim, and then C-Line in the middle. And then I'm just going to compare that with the swirly Skystone. I kind of forget. I think it's a Skystone, but the swirly PD2 that came out the first time. And then the Innova Elixir Power Disc 2. It's now that Innova and Discmania separated a while ago, they got the PD2 mold, the old PD2 mold. So they have the Elixir PD2, which is really overstable. So I'm just going to be doing a little comparison with the 3 today. I haven't gotten any throws with this yet. This will be my first shot with it, so I'm super interested to see actually how overstable it is. This has a decent amount of throws, so it's not as overstable as it first was, but it's still plenty stable and relatively close to its initial flight pattern. So yeah, let's just get right into it and see how they fly. We have some right to left right now, so the flight is going to be exaggerated, but we'll just throw a couple warm. All right, let's just go ahead and get into it. First, gravity bomb. First shot with it. Just gonna throw it on a little hyzer. All right, definitely overstable, a little glidey, which is nice for a PD2. Some PD2s come straight down, but that one does have a little dome, so it definitely wanted to glide a little bit left. This one out of the box definitely wanted to come straight down. Probably has a relatively similar flight to that now. Yep, pretty close flight to that right now. That one got a little bit more of a skip. Maybe just based off the reaction on, you know, which part of the grass it hit, but pretty close flight. See this Elixir PD2. I don't have too many backhand throws with this thing. Pulled it a little bit, but it definitely got down a little bit faster. That thing seems very overstable compared to the other two. We'll see how it you know, kind of compares into the Headwind, but that one seems to want to get down a little bit faster than those other new Discmania PD2s. All right, so in terms of distance, the Elixir went the furthest, then the Gravity Bomb, and then this guy. This thing was the most left, I think, because it got a pretty big skip compared to the other two. And then this one was kind of pulled, so it was more right. It wasn't really in line with the initial first throws. I felt like I probably threw this one quite a bit harder, so it's going to take a couple more throws to see if this actually does tend to go further. But the Gravity Bomb is definitely overstable. Now we have a pretty strong left to right wind, so I think it's kind of a good wind to try to throw it with a little bit of turn and see how fast they fly out. So I'm just going to try to throw it straight with a touch of turn. See if they want to hold that or come out. So that held it for a little while, came back and skipped. It's definitely overstable. I didn't feel like I threw that super hard, but it definitely came out and skipped. In the left to right, it carried for a little bit, but came out of it actually pretty quick. So I'm pretty impressed with that thing so far. I'll go with this Skystone. So same type of thing. It held over for a while, faded out. It was a little bit higher, so it didn't get the chance to drift over. I'd say it's honestly pretty close to that Gravity Bomb. In terms of stability, maybe the Gravity Bomb wants to come back left a little bit harder, just because it's new and a little bit more domey. See the Elixir now. So that Elixir, I threw it probably harder again. It does seem to be a little bit smaller of a rim width. So in my hand, I might be committing it to it more, just getting a better get better grip and getting a better throw out of it out of the hand, because the 2 times I've thrown it, it seems to have come out a little bit hotter. But that one came out on a really good angle, turned for a little bit and came out. That one's definitely more overstable. It just kind of wants to get down and not really have a lot of left to right movement. All right, so yeah, these actually were pretty close to each other. The gravity bomb was a little bit more left, which I'm not surprised by. Just with the dome, it kind of tends to want to get a little bit more left. Whereas the Elixir just went further. Maybe because it just feels better in my hand. It kind of has that smaller rim width, so I get a better grip. It feels better in my hand for the backhand for sure. This one just feels kind of like, not quite a boss or a nuke, but just a bigger hand feel, so it's a little bit harder to get that full rip. But yeah, so this pushed a little bit further and then just kind of faded straight down and didn't get as left. So yeah, we got a nice little headwind spot, so we're gonna try to throw it pretty close to flat and just rip them. Oh yeah, that thing is beefy. I threw it flat and hard and it just went straight and faded out very fast. At first, I almost thought it was gonna start to turn a little bit, but it's just because I threw it hard and straight and it kind of went straight for a little, but faded out very fast. So it's definitely reliable. Didn't want to turn and burn at all. So we'll see if we could get a close rip on this one. Wow, same exact throw, push straight, faded out. That Skystone almost seems to get down a little bit faster. I don't know, maybe the flatness makes it not want to like push up, ride straight, and then fade out. It just kind of like goes straight a little bit and then gets down. I think the dome kind of makes it have a little bit more action, right and left, whereas the flat just kind of pushes it straight and then get down. So pretty similar in flight, but I'd say the Skystone actually wanted to move in the right and left direction a little bit less. This thing has a little bit dome. It used to have a really big center dome, but it kind of flattened out, so it actually feels pretty similar to that the new gravity bomb. So let's see. I don't expect much movement on this because it's pretty overstable though. Yeah, the Elixir is definitely more overstable. I threw that one very hard as well. All 3 of those came out about the same power, but the Elixir didn't even want to stand up at all. The other 2 stood up a little bit, the gravity bomb a little bit more. Then the Skystone kind of stood up and dropped, but the Elixir literally just stayed on hyzer and faded out the whole entire time. All right, so that was a way better test of power and getting a similar power in all of them. And what do you know, they all go about the same exact distance. The gravity bomb pushed a little bit straighter and was more right. The Skystone was in the center, and the Elixir was more left, I think because it just stayed on hyzer. So it just shows, I think the Skystone is probably a little bit more overstable in the sense that it just wants to get down, whereas the gravity bomb wants to either glide a little bit left on hyzer, or if you throw it flat into the headwind, push a little straight, kind of has those domey disc characteristics. But yeah, one last throw. We'll just throw it on some sidearms. We have like a tail left to right wind right here, so it's not going to be a good judgment of how they fly on the forehand and the headwind, but we already pretty much know how they fly on the forehand and the headwind, so I'm just going to try to throw them flat, see what they do. So yeah, very overstable, kind of lifted and went right a lot. Like I said, we do have a left to right, so that might have aided it a little bit, but we'll try to hit it on a similar angle with the other 2 and see if they do the same thing. Like I said, that one's a little domier, so I have a feeling that one wants to glide a bit more right on the sidearm. Yeah, so pretty similar flight. I'd say it definitely wanted to kind of get up and then come down faster than getting up and gliding left. Like I've been saying the whole time, I think the flatness of that disc kind of makes it want to get down a little bit faster than gliding. So now we'll see the elixir. This will probably be somewhere in between those. All right, that wasn't the best shot with that. I left it a little bit high, but it definitely wanted to glide right. I throw that thing a bit sidearm and it wants to get very right and skip a lot on the sidearm. I think because it's so overstable and it does have that little bit of dome, it just really wants to get right and down sometimes. It kind of depends on how you throw it. If you throw it flat, it really wants to get right. If you throw it on hyzer, it really wants to get down. I mean, that's most discs, but I'd say it kind of flies somewhere in between the flat PD2 and the gravity bomb, where the gravity bomb wants to like actually glide and the flat PD2 Skystone wants to get down. But yeah, overall pretty close in flight characteristics. All right, so yeah, the gravity bomb was pretty much in line with the elixir in terms of left to right, probably because the elixir was thrown a lot higher. Other than that, if they were the same, I would probably guess the gravity bomb would go a little bit more right on the sidearm, and then the Skystone was left just because it kind of got down opposed to gliding. But yeah, that's kind of the story on these discs the whole time. The Skystone, my Skystone at least, is pretty flat, so it tended to fly a little bit more fading down and more overstable in that sense, whereas the gravity bomb has a little bit of dome, so it wants to get a little bit more left for the backhand and right for the sidearm. And then the elixir is just super overstable. It does want to get down, but it's also skippy and kind of just has a mind of its own because it's so overstable. It never wanted to flip up on the backhand or anything. So I'd say this is probably more overstable than both of these, but you don't really need something this overstable. So if you're looking for a nice stock overstable disc, the new gravity bomb is nice. I think most of them had the dome when I was feeling them, so they're all going to be nice and overstable and glidey. They aren't like the most overstable things ever, so they're definitely workable, but they don't flip over or anything into the headwind, and we had a pretty good headwind that we were throwing into, and I threw them pretty hard and they didn't want to flip or anything. So yeah, that's the review of the new gravity bomb. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.